What's up? What's up? Hello orchid fans, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Gintare and I grow orchids in Scotland. Today's video is about repotting the succulent orchids. So I've got this one, which is Oeoceoclades spathulifera. It's also called a snake orchid because of its beautiful leaves. I hope you can see it. So it's got, snake-like leaves, so it is very pretty. I've had it for a while. It's been grown from a seedling. So it's not a blooming size yet, but it's due a repot. And another one that I've got here is Eulophia petersii. So it is a big orchid. It's growing a new growth here, which is now maturing. The leaves are really tall, and this is the growth that I got it with. This big one with two leaves, and you see they're kind of growing on the sides. And then the new growth that it grew for me previously, it's only got one very long leaf, and now another new growth that is growing is doing the same thing. It's growing a really long one leaf from the growth. So I suspect that it's probably doesn't get enough light, and that's why it's growing like that. It's kind of like reaching higher up to get more light. These orchids usually grow in Africa. So they get, loads and loads of sun, whereas here, I think the lighting just wasn't enough. And because this is now so tall, I have to grow it on the top shelf, and the lighting there is not the best. So I'm now growing it in, one of these shelves. It's actually this shelf here. And it's got two lights, so it is getting more light, but it means that these leaves, I kind of have to put them like this, and they lean against the top shelf because otherwise it can't fit in. So it's not the best. So we will get this repotted as well. I've got cacti and succulent potting mix, but I think I will mix other things in it to repot both of these because they are still orchids. So I feel like they still need a bit more aeration in the pot. But bark is probably not going to be the best for them. So stay tuned and let's get these guys repotted. Alright, you guys, sorry, you won't be able to really see me, but that doesn't matter as long as you can see the plants, right? So let's get this Oeoceoclades out of the pot. This one has been in the pot probably for a couple of years now. So I'm keen to get it out. I've actually seen these roots coming through the pot right there. So I think it's not been doing that bad in here. Let's see. See, the thing is, it's growing through this microfiber as well. And the root is coming from one hole and microfiber is coming through the other hole. So I don't really know what we're going to do and how we're going to get it out. There's another root here as well. And another one just started peeking through, so that one will be okay. I initially had it potted in basically small bark and ceramis mix. And then I think there is maybe a ceramis layer as well, and then there is small leca at the bottom for kind of drainage and just, if I'm keeping water at the bottom of the pot so it doesn't all rot. This root just seems so big and fat. I really would love to keep it. So there's a lot of white in the pot. I don't know if you can see it. You should be able to. And I don't know if this is salt accumulation or if it's mold. It could be both, or either, because, I keep the pot's quite moist, so it is possible that this is mold. But because it's, it's got leca and it's got inorganic media, it could be salt accumulation as well. So I'm trying to see how many roots. Oh, this is mold. I can actually smell it now. It's definitely mold. I'm just looking how many roots it's got in total. And, if I lost this root, would it be a big deal, basically? This is what I'm trying to figure out right now. It does seem to have a fairly good root system, so I think we will just cut this one off. Let me get my tools. So I will just cut it, because the chances are by the time I wiggle it out of microfiber and through that hole, it's probably going to be damaged anyway. So there we are. So you can see the root ball is actually fairly good. So let's take all of this old media away. This plant hasn't been watered for about a week. And look how much moisture is still here. So this is maybe a bit too much. And if the bark, it's been in this pot for a few years, so the bark is a couple of years old, so it can be quite acidic by now. So it's good that we are repotting it. I'm trying to be really gentle with these roots. So they're not branching. There is basically just one root going from the base of the pseudobulb all the way to the bottom. So, not a branching root system. So if I damage the root, the chances are that it will just die. It's not really going to branch out. So I'm trying to be super gentle and not kind of touch them too much. Okay, this is all I'm going to do with it. So, pretty good root system, I think, and I cleaned it up fairly well. I'll just run water through it just to kind of, wash off all this dirt, and that one is ready to be repotted. So let's put this one on one side. I don't want to kind of damage those roots. Okay, now this one, I have potted it a few times actually. I only had it for, I actually can't remember when I got it. It must be a couple years now. And this is an organic media, so I don't want to mix it with this actually. So let me just get it out of here. Okay, let's try and get this out the pot. So you see this one is growing in akadama, which is basically a bonsai media. But you see how with time, this one has also got mold, but it kind of almost turns into sand. And then I had leca at the bottom because this pot is so big. I just felt like it's gonna be too much akadama if I did it through the whole pot. So I had leca at the bottom. But as you can see, these roots didn't really like it very much. And I saw that there is new roots coming out of this new growth here. And there is one with a root tip. Where is it? This one, the small one. There is an active root tip. So this is a good time, I hope, to repot it. These white roots, they are fine. But this one, they're all dead. So I had a feeling it's not gonna like this potting media. So I don't want to cut away all of it because it's not got that many roots, but this element, that just peels off on itself. So this one, I can just take that off. It's not gonna come back to life, but I will leave that root as it is. It will still be able to feed the plant a little bit, nowhere near what it, a healthy root can do, but it's better than nothing. And, it's not that many roots that I'm working with, so we'll just have to take everything we can. And hopefully I think there is another new root coming from here. There is a little bump, so I hope that this is a good time to move it into a new pot, new media, and I hope that it will enjoy it more. So these kind of succulent orchids, I think that they prefer to grow in deeper pots because, imagine a desert and the sand is very dry and there is barely any rain. So these roots are going to want to grow as deep as they can to try and get some moisture out of the ground deeper, because if they grow shallow, there's going to be no moisture whatsoever at the base. So I think, growing it in a shallow pot like that, I don't think it really enjoyed it very much. And you can see also this one. Look how it just grows roots right down, right? It's not going by the sides of the pot or anything like that. It just goes right down to the very bottom of the pot. And I think that this one would do the same thing if it had where to go. So this one I'm going to repot back into a 9 centimeter pot. It's still going to fit in there. It's still got, plenty of room to grow. But this one, I've got a few options. This one, again, I think it's going to be too shallow because look, those roots are just going to go right to the very bottom of the pot and can even barely fit. So there is not much to grow, not much room. But this one, I think it's going to be a bit better. So there is still not that much more room to go to, but obviously the small roots, they will still have a lot of room. And I can push that plant right against the side of the pot, the old part of the plant, which means that there's going to be plenty of room here for this new growth to push out, the following new growth. So there's going to be plenty of room for it to grow, and there's going to be plenty of room in the pot as well to grow new roots. So let's try this method and see how that works. So, alright, so this is basically the mix that I got, which is the cacti and succulent potting mix. So I don't really know what is in it. It does say that it's got ceramis, grit, and sand, but doesn't really say much more. So let's open this and let's see what is in here, and then we can decide if we want to add anything more. So I will pour some of this into here. So I'm not a big fan of this brand, to be honest, but I honestly had no choice. There was nothing else, and I didn't want to get a big bag because I knew I only have 2 orchids to repot. So we're just going to have to work with this. So it's just got some random pieces, like big pieces that I kind of feel like I just want to take them out. I have no idea what this is. But, so there is some ceramis, and I think that there is some perlite maybe in here. And then it is actually, you can see it's quite airy mixed. It doesn't, even when I squeeze it hard, you see it doesn't like compact very, like a lot. So it's maybe not too bad. Okay, so what I will add, this is Ceramis and some grit. So I'll add some of that in here. That will give a bit more aeration and will hold on to moisture a bit better as well. And I will also take some of the Akadama. So this is the mix that we took the Eulophia out of. And I will just take this letter away and I will use this Akadama. So I'll just pour some of this Akadama in here. And that will just provide a little bit more aeration, and it means I can reuse this Akadama. So Akadama is inorganic as well. So it doesn't really go off. But I have noticed that it kind of, it just kind of gets smaller. So, but for a succulent orchid, it's actually okay. So let's try and mix this up. Now let's see what we've got. I like it. I think it's actually quite good. So now you see, you can't compact it at all. It all just comes out. So let's go with that and see how we get on. So I will still put, I'm just thinking if I should put microfiber through here or not. Maybe actually I won't, because it's going to be, it's going to hold a lot of water in here as well. So what I'll do, again, just reusing previous media, I'll put some leather at the bottom. That will do. So you can see it's just covering the bottom. So let me just take this away. Okay, let's put this in. So again, I will try to kind of put it against the side of the pot, but not too much, because you just never know. Like even this newest growth might push the growth from either side. So I want to have enough room for either side. So maybe something like that will do. So I'll hold it with my other hand. And let's see how it goes. I honestly feel so nervous planting an orchid into basically this this kind of mix, I just feel like it's not gonna be able to breathe. I am terrified. So let's see if it likes it and how it goes. I mean, previously this one was potted in small bark with some Ceramis, so it definitely had a lot more aeration than here. And the roots are good, so it has been growing quite well. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I am a bit nervous. And I don't know if I should be compacting this or if I should kind of leave it quite loose. The thing is, if I leave it loose, then when I water it, it's all gonna start kind of sinking down, and I will have half of this media is gonna kind of sink down, so that I won't have any media left in the pot. So I think I should compact it a little bit. But as you can see, I'm trying to keep the bulbs above the surface of the media. This is how we're gonna do this. So that's what it looks like. Very weird media for an orchid, but we will run with it and see what happens. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. Okay, let's do Eulophia petersii. So this one was drying out all the time when it was in the previous mix, which was Leca and this Akadama. So again, I think because it was a shallower pot, and again, this orchid, it will be drawing water out as soon as it gets some, because these kind of desert orchids, they get water very rarely. So every time they get water, they will be just holding on to every single drop. And I water it a couple times a week, which maybe is a bit too much. I maybe should actually water it less to kind of replicate, that lack of water in nature. So, but yeah, the pot will be dry all the time. And obviously with the clay pot, it will kind of, let the water to evaporate through the pot as well. So I think, yeah, it was drying out like really quickly. So what I'll try and do with this one, I will try and position it, if I can, so that this newest growth is as central in the pot as possible. So maybe something like that. This dirt, it's so dirty. I'm not a fan of it at all. We'll see if this Eulophia is a fan of it. Let's pour this all over the pot, all over the plant. And, this is the first time I'm really working with this type of mix. I'm not used to the mixes that are so, well, this kind of dirt. I'm not used to it at all. I don't really grow any other houseplants, so I'm just going to have to really watch this to see if, like, how often it needs watered, so I don't drown the poor thing. So it's going to be a big learning curve for me as well. And of course, I'll keep you guys updated how it goes. I just really hope it's not going to die on me. That would not be good. This orchid is probably one of my most expensive orchids in my collection, because I've been looking for it for a very long time. And I found it in an online shop which is selling succulent plants rather than orchids. And it was coming from abroad, so the shipping was quite expensive as well. And because it was a succulent plant shop, there was nothing really else I was buying from it. I have no really interest in succulents or anything else. So there was nothing else that I could buy from it. So, normally, we can't really buy now orchids from, online shops, abroad. It's only the UK we can use. But usually if I buy orchids, I would buy at least a couple, so that the shipping kind of ends up being, cheaper per plant. Whereas I had nothing else to buy there. So, yeah, this one ended up, I ended up spending about £50 for this orchid, which is quite a lot. So I really don't want it to die on me. So we'll have to watch it very closely and see how it goes. I've still got some of this mix left. So I will put it in a bag and I'll keep it. There's actually quite a lot. But I'll keep it for now because as I start watering these plants, you know, as I say, this mix might start kind of going down a bit and compact into the pot. So if the level of this media kind of starts going down, I will top it up with this leftover media. So, you know, it's not going to go to waste and I'll keep it handy for topping up if needed. But that is the two plants potted up, my Oeoceoclades and Eulophia petersii. New mix, so new experience. I'm trying to find the tag. There it is. Yeah, new mix. So it's going to be interesting to see how they grow, how they do. But that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, for watching this video. If you stayed till the end, please give it a thumbs up because obviously I enjoyed the video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.